Hello, and welcome to Gadgets with Myke. Okay, we're going to be talking about the Tabletop iPad um, recording studio. This is a really cool application that allows you to basically do full music production on tracks. So for DJs or electronic musicians, this is a really, really good tool. Then I went ahead and made my own little sample that you guys can check out. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. So we've got my session opened up, and as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff on there, and it's really a very simple setup. The first thing that you're presented with is going to be your master output as well as your mixer, and your mixer works a lot like any other analog mixer or digital mixer, that you can control the volume of your um, audio inputs. And so we can just zoom out on it. And basically, this is all of these instruments are going to be routed to this mixer, and it's going to be routed to the output. The first piece of equipment that we're going to be talking about that's included for free. By the way, this app is completely free. And it comes with a variety of instruments and some other instruments that can be purchased either inside the app or externally outside of the app and placed inside of it. The first app we're going to talk about is the Gridlock Touch Sampler. And this is a really, really cool drum sequencer. It has a bunch of different presets that we can take a look at, and as well as different controls. Down here, we can control the pitch of the instrument as well as the gain, and the length of notes. You can also switch from one shot to hold, and that's going to be affected by the MIDI data, as well as your output channel 1 or 2. And we have a couple of different ways to do this. We can either hit record and tap different samples. But there is a little bit of latency. Granted, I'm also running a screen recording application on my iPad, so that's also going to cause some slowdown. The best way is actually to use the MIDI piano roll. And on this, we have pinch to zoom, and we can scroll through the bars of the music. And basically, we place the MIDI data by just tapping, and it's going to go ahead and place that. And the length of the note is going to be automatically determined by the grid, whether it's going to be a quarter note, eighth note, 16th note, 32nd note, or a 64th note. I like to start with the 16th note, and then to increase the length of a note, you're going to tap it and then drag your finger and create a longer note. And then you can also tap it and delete it to remove it. And so I've went ahead and built the MIDI data for the drum, and then we're also going to talk about the built-in Mork's tone matrix, and this is a tone sequencer that you can build sequences based on basically just tapping on little squares. The lower notes down here at the bottom, these are all low, and then high are up here, and it's based on the key that your song is in that these tones are in. You can also build different patterns and select which pattern, so you can kind of live mix it as well as record and submit a final output. I have two of these because I have two different sound samples going on. You can't switch from one like a tone sample to another tone sample when you go to another loop. So if you want to have two different sounds, you're going to have two different of these dragged out. And really quick, how to drag these out. If we click on this thing up, this little symbol up here, it's going to give us the instruments that we have. These are the instruments that are available. Everything except for this one, the baseline sequencer, those are free. All that you see here, these are all instruments and effects that we can add to our desktop. And to add something, basically you just touch it and drag it and place it, and then you have it, which is really cool. The next thing we're going to talk about is the R63 synthesizer. Now this is a really cool synthesizer. It's basically a MIDI controller, and we can have different types of sounds. And then, so I have that kind of there, and then I also have this lead built in. And this one has the same MIDI controller for as the other one. So you basically place your data the same way. Then we also have a bass sequencer. This is one that I've purchased and added, and basically you can create different patterns and control how they are displayed. The final thing I'm going to show you before I give you a demo of what the song and what I built in is the triggerator. This is how you actually build your song to switch between different things. And so we have our different sections of the song. We have our A1, our A0, A1, A2, A3, and then it'll go to A4 and then start over at B0. So whenever I add a new section. Now if I want to double a section, I just click duplicate and it's going to go ahead and add it. And then I can delete it. And then right here I can control how many bars it actually, the measure is, that section, which is really cool. And so how you navigate through those sections of the songs are actually up here. We have our, if we go back to A0, this is the first loop, and then I can arrow through to the second loop, third loop, and then the fourth loop. And if I want to just work on one section, I go ahead and just click on the loop section, and that's basically just going to play that same section over and over again, so I can build different parts. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick demo of what this sounds like through what I built. It's basically just a couple of bars, but it's decently cool. So I'll go ahead and let that play through. As you can see, it's still kind of a work in progress, but I think it's going to be pretty cool when I actually get it done, and I'll go ahead and add that to the end of this blog post to just kind of say, hey, look, this is what I've done. If we click on Session, we have a couple of different options to share our audio file. Oh, hey, iPad, thanks for taking forever to save. Okay, so we can either share on SoundCloud, render to a WAV file, or do what's called audio copy. Basically, this is going to copy the MIDI data and render it to be able to be pasted into another audio program. The render to WAV, this is going to make it able to be exported through iTunes and share on SoundCloud. It's basically going to upload it to SoundCloud for you. One other thing I want to talk about before we're done is the device store. Now, there's two different ways that you can actually add instruments and sounds to Tabletop. We can either do it through in-app purchases. As you can see, there's another synthesizer, as well as a couple of different drum machines, as well as a couple of different mixers if you're doing DJ, and then some different effects. I haven't had a chance to play around with these because I don't have the money to just go ahead and just buy everything. Then there's also, right now, there are two applications that are standalone apps that you can actually, that if you buy the ad and if you buy the app, you can actually import it as a device into Tabletop. That's the Akai IMPC and the Artura iMini, and these are full-featured applications that you can basically digital versions of physical hardware that you can buy. These are really cool things. I haven't had a chance to test them out because they're a little pricey, but eventually I'm gonna be able to do that, and I'll go ahead and upload a nice little video of that. So that's my little rundown of Tabletop. If we click on this button right here, we can actually see where everything's going, and you can reroute a bunch of different stuff. So I definitely recommend it. It's a very good app, and it's free. You can do a whole bunch of stuff for free and do some music production on your own. So if you're a hip hop artist or a DJ, or you just want to kind of get into electronic music, I definitely recommend that you check it out. That's all I've got for you this week. Make sure to go to clementsmedia.org for updates for all of the Clements Media content that's going to be coming out every day, as well as make sure you come back to clementsmedia.org/gadgets with Myke, and we're going to be posting a new one of these app of the weeks, well, every week, because that's the name, app of the week. So have a good day, and I'll see you next week.